Hello and welcome to Glitch Cube. We're a gaming podcast, and each week we take a deeper look into the art of video games. As always, I'm Christian.
I'm Chris.
And welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us once again as we dive further into the world of games. And this week, this episode, we are going to be discussing TV shows and video games, or movies and video games, just basically video game adaptations of film. And there are a lot of them, but this is in celebration question mark of the Last of Us TV show that just came out on HBO. As of right now, there is only one episode out, but I think as the release of this episode, there will be episode 2 coming out pretty soon here. And it is pretty interesting so far. So what's going to be kind of interesting about that topic, we're also going to be going over some other surprising TV show adaptations of video games, and maybe a couple film ones that you might not have ever heard of. But for the Last of Us show in particular, we have two different point of views here that I think is pretty cool. I've never played them, and I don't know anything about them whatsoever. I stayed away from them for some reason, and I just never cared to watch them or read the lore or anything. I don't know. That's just never really fully interested me. And then we have Chris, who has played the game. So, and you played both, right? 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that should be pretty cool because I don't know. From my perspective, the show was not that bad. I mean, it was all right. It felt like a video game, right? Like it felt like a video game adaptation where it just always has this funky vibe to it, where it's just not 100% believable, or there's moments in it where you're like, yeah, okay. Like it's always weird seeing it in film version, and I think that's just a very common thing that happens with video game adaptations. Like it's actually really funny. Whenever I came home from work today, come home to find my partner watching Silent Hill. I'm like, why the hell are you watching Silent Hill? And apparently someone at work brought it up and was like, this is an amazing horror movie, you need to watch it.
Amazing.
And in my head I'm like, it's all right. And I was
the
like,
first one was decent.
yeah, it was okay. And then I let her know. I was like, you knew this is on a video game, right? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's a video game movie. She's like, oh, that's why it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, yep, that's it. Because it happens all the time with these games, or with these movies and shows, is they don't explain everything fully because they're kind of trying to cater to the fan who already knows the lore. So they kind of breeze over things that should be explained a little bit more, even though it might be redundant for the people who know the game and things like that. But I feel like it's very crucial and important to play it up as its own separate entity. And it doesn't mean that you have to stick 100% to the story itself. And you can venture off a little bit. Like, you might piss some people off, I guess, but I don't know. There's something different about it. And it's really weird because we commend video games on fantastic stories all the time here, especially on this show. Like, we love a good RPG that has a long story that's really involved, and there's all kinds of things going on, like think Citizen Sleeper, Triangle Strategy, right? Like, those games really mean something to us here. But I feel like if I watched a Citizen Sleeper TV show, it wouldn't have the same vibe or pace. And I think that's one of the big components here that is kind of missing and kind of difficult to replicate in a show. And not to say that every single show out there is a failure, quote unquote, right? Like, there are some shows that are actually halfway decent or actually really good. Like, for instance, like the Devil May Cry anime, right? Like, that's actually a really good adaptation. Castlevania is incredibly popular. Haven't seen it yet, but it's, it seems like it's actually really, really good. The Witcher is super popular, but then you get other ones like the Monster Hunter movie, right? It's like, okay. The Resident Evil movies, where you're like, the first one was okay, and then the rest of them became a video game. And it's you go into it with like a different mindset, right? Where when a video game movie gets too video gamey, it's not that enjoyable. It becomes goofy almost. And I don't know how to square that line, or like, I don't have a half-baked idea of how to do it better, because it's movies that are based off of absurdities already. So it's kind of difficult to kind of rein that in and bring it into some sense of reality. I mean, yeah, it's weird. It's a really difficult one, but I don't know. What's your ultimate take on, like, just as a whole, video game, TV shows, and movies? Because there's surprising a lot of them out there that we didn't know about until doing a little bit of research on this.
I always kind of just grew up thinking they were always pretty bad, like at least live action, right? Like I think about the animated ones as a kid. I'm trying to think.
Like the Super Mario TV show? Yeah.
That was pretty dope. I swear. Hold on. I need to double check this isn't a fever dream that I have right now. Because I'm like, I remember this now, and I remember really liking it. Was it a show? The Donkey Kong Country show.
Yeah. It was 3D animated.
Yeah, I thought that was so cool. Like, I was like, dude, like, he's real. I don't know.
That one was good. Like, I feel like the animated ones they get a little bit of a break from trying to make them real. Live action is just tough.
With live action, I mean, a lot of them are just kind of campy, like you look at Double Dragon. That was cool,
Yeah.
Weird, but cool.
I mean, it's good for what it is.
Yeah, it fits that cheesy 80s, early 90s, like, kung fu action flick, Otherwise, like, I remember as a kid, the Street Fighter movie was like,
oh, that was
people always
awesome.
Joked about that.
I love that movie with a passion. I don't know why.
Seriously?
I for some reason I absolutely love that movie, and maybe I just I was gonna say a little bit later that my favorite of all time video game adaptation movies, or whatever the hell you want to think about, is the FP. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can watch that one over and over again. And me and my partner actually just watched it last week, and she wanted to watch it. I didn't put it on. She put it on. So, yeah. But we were also reminiscing. That was actually our first date. So maybe I'm, biased, but it's such a bad movie. It's good. And they've made 3 of them. So, yeah.
God. There's more. I'm like thinking now.
Well, like Mortal Kombat, that movie was dope. That was awesome.
The new one or the old ones?
The original.
You didn't like the new one?
The new one was okay. I didn't like the main character.
Oh, yeah, the main character sucked.
Yeah, but besides that, it was good. But I mean, it doesn't compare to the original, right? Liu Kang, Shao Tsung, your soul is mine, right? Like, it's kind of hard to top that, having Goro kill Johnny Cage, right? Like, there's a lot there.
Yeah, I think a lot of those early live action adaptations, like, they kind of get a pass nowadays because they're just so cheesy that, like, it just kind of works in that 90s way.
And they were martial arts. I think
that's true too.
Martial arts films automatically get a pass with like Cheese and Camp, and then it being in the time period, it's just like a good nostalgia hit when you watch them now.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah, those Resident Evil movies, like, I don't know. I remember being so interested in them back in the day, and then realizing they had nothing to do with the games. I was like, eh. And then that Resident Evil show came out, and it was just...
I couldn't watch the first episode.
It didn't grab me. I feel like Netflix is kind of... They're really hit or miss with their game shows.
Which the shows, really.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like it sucks because they get some good franchises or ideas, but it's like, I don't know, they also have a lot of crap too. But like, for me, when I think about Netflix game adaptations, the animated ones are the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, The Witcher was cool. I feel like season 2, it kind of wasn't as good. And now that I hear that he's leaving, I don't know if he's leaving for season 3 or if he's leaving after season 3. I forgot. And I'm just like, oh, what are they going to do? I haven't even watched that side story that came out because I'm just like, I don't know. The first season was so cool, and then it just kind of, I lost interest. But also, I was never like the biggest Witcher fan. Like, for me, Witcher's always been cool, but I've never been like, Witcher 3 is my favorite game. Like, I know a lot of people out there like adore that game with a passion, but I mean, I guess I could say the same about Last of Us. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I played it when it came out. That was one of the reasons why I got a PS3, but I didn't get that PS3 until basically the end of its life, right? Like, I bought it maybe, I think, a year before the PlayStation 4 came out, and
that's
because it was so
late.
cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, why not? I'll check it out. And I thought it was cool. You know, I had friends that didn't even play video games that were like, this game is amazing. It's a masterpiece. And you still hear people say that that game's a masterpiece and is like the pinnacle of best game storytelling. And it's interesting because when you really pick it apart, it's not that intricate of a story. It's just a story that translates well to cinema. And that's something I was thinking about when they were doing this show, is that it's got a lot of the cliches. Wow, I kind of said that weird.
Nick Lachey's? No.
Oh, I like that.
It's got a lot of him in it. It's weird. Yeah.
It's just all him.
He's every character. It's like Nutty Professor.
Oh God. It fits every role, right? That the father figure, which seems like it's a thing in almost every Sony first party game. Like, you think about God of War, then you think Last of Us. It's like, it's a theme. And so you have that, you know, with 2, you have revenge. Like, it's very like stories that we've kind of heard before, but done in a grittier, interesting way. And you have to think, when Last of Us came out, there weren't that many games that felt like it was a film. You know, like, it was still gamey, but to me, that game felt, it felt like it could be a movie. I remember playing that and thinking that. And, you know, once I played Uncharted 4, I kind of felt the same way too. So, I mean, this is definitely a theme that I think Sony is going for with a lot of their first party games. Like, you look at, they're making a God of War movie or a show, I think. So it's like, that makes sense. You know, they're making a Horizon show. That makes sense, because those games,
the Uncharted movie was actually pretty good.
Was it? I like tried watching it and I was like, eh.
It was. I mean, it's entertaining, right? And it's Spider-Man, Tom Holland, which I liked.
Yeah,
I think he sold it a little bit for me.
I think I was bummed about it because there was someone on YouTube that made an Uncharted like short, and like it literally looked like Uncharted. Like, even the actor looked just like him. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. It's real. But yeah, Tom Holland. But with Last of Us, you know, I don't think it's a bad game series. It's, I think it's a great game. You know, I think for people that want a serious story that's kind of gritty, it's good. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 like a lot of people say. I would probably give it maybe a 7. And with 2, I'm gonna be surprised if they want to continue the show for 2. I mean, they probably will, but you know, you look at 2 and it was so controversial because of what happens in it. And you know, it brings the idea of like, is Joel a good person or not? And you know, you kind of see that in the show already. Like, is Joel really a good guy? You know, like there was a part in the episode where he's like, you don't know anything about me. You don't know what I've done. And it's like,
Right.
it's interesting because, like, you know, throughout the game, you see there's times where I'm like, oh, he doesn't seem like he's like the role model, like innocent kind of person. Like, he has a past. And when I played 2, you know, I understood, like, okay, like it was weird what happened. I can see why people hate that part of it, but you know, I think 2 would make for an interesting show alone, just because revenge stuff always sells.
Mm-hmm.
You know, movies, shows, like people always like a good revenge movie. Just not Taken number 7, you know, like for some reason there's so many Taken movies, but it's
He's got so many skills.
yeah, that's his one role, bounty hunter.
Yeah.
It I don't know. I'm excited that a game adaptation is doing so well because it makes me hope for more that are done well. I don't know if it was the HBO funding or if it was the Sony funding that made it better. I feel like it was maybe HBO that kind of helped, just because I'm like, it's something different, you
Well, it
know?
has the vibe and the way it was shot looks like every HBO show. So they must have had a
Hmm.
very heavy influence in it. Because like every HBO show is kind of dark, right? Like they frame their shots in very similar ways, and the pacing seems to be very similar. Like they have a formula that they rinse and repeat a lot, and like this show definitely feels like it followed that.
That's a good point because I didn't think about that. Uh, Another thing too is Neil Druckmann kind of I would listen to like developer interviews or you know writer interviews and stuff. It always sounded like he just wanted to make movies, but he made a game instead.
Mm.
So with this, it's that outlet for him, and I think like with his ideas and stuff, I could see this show being really well done. Like I I'm excited to see what comes after this. I forgot what other series HBO is going to do after this, cuz I know God of War and I think Horizon is Netflix and I think God of War is Amazon.
I feel like Gears of War should be HBO. They would do that well.
That would be cool.
Or like Alan Wake. Ooh, that'd be dope.
Yeah. I think more of the darker stories HBO just they know how to whoever does it knows how to film it, right?
Mhm.
Like you said, that HBO feeling the way things are shot fits that grittiness.
Right. Like a Death Stranding or Metal Gear Solid. I think anything like
Hmm.
Konami should be, or Kojima. Yeah, it's the same thing, whatever. Should be an HBO thing, 100%. Because I feel like with HBO, they're not afraid to get gritty, to get really dark, to get hyper violent if they need to. I mean, look at Doom Patrol, right? It's goofy as shit, but it's also hyper violent and really absurd. So they're not afraid to get into those kind of things. But with like if let's say Death Stranding or Metal Gear Solid, which are actually games that are being announced as TV shows or movie adaptations coming in the near future, if they ended up on like Netflix is very bright with their stuff. It's very cheery, right? It's very like it almost feels like poppy, right?
Hmm.
And like I don't think that those games would necessarily um, translate well to their formula. Like I really feel like there should be HBO shows.
Yeah. I mean, look what Paramount did to Halo. You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
I couldn't get very far in Halo. I tried.
I keep forgetting that's there.
I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's just, I don't know. I didn't really like it too much, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
There was something else. I mean, there's been a lot of good movies recently. You know, look at Sonic.
I really like the Sonic movies. Those are great.
I've only seen the first one, but I liked it.
Yeah, they both were good. I mean, Sonic 2 was just like for the first one. So if you like the first one, then you're going to like the second one. So it's just more of that, which was nice. But yeah, I don't know. There's... What was that?
I was going to ask if you're excited for the Mario movie.
I'm on the fence, to be honest. Like, the more I see trailers and look at it more, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to watch it. Right. Yeah. But I'm hopeful for it being good. I hope that the only good thing about it is not Jack Black's performance, because already in the trailers he's stealing it as far as like memorable characters. Because the last trailer that came out for us was just a lot of like fanfare for Mario. It was every single reference you could possibly think of, even Mario Kart thrown into all of it. And I'm just afraid that they're going to like really flood it with that stuff and just make it one of those kind of movies, which I guess works too, because like Lego movies like that, right? It's just infinite reference on top of reference. But I don't know. Like I would like to see a Mario movie like the way that Sonic is paced. It's like one good story, or even the way that like Detective Pikachu was done. Because Detective Pikachu was actually a good movie. I liked it. I thought it was actually pretty good. But it focused on like one story. Sure, there was references and like you can see Pokemon flying in the sky in the city. There's like little nods here and there, but even in the trailer for this Mario movie, it feels very heavy-handed in that way. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, Nintendo doesn't really make a lot of movie shows, or too many, that they probably don't have like a lot to go off of. And the last movie we got of Mario did not go very well. That live action interesting movie. That was
what are you talking about? The Goombas were the best part.
Oh gosh, the Goomba playing the harmonica. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was great. And yeah, no. I mean, there's actual like death in that one, which is weird. And they like stole cars from Blade Runner, which was strange, but yeah.
Yeah, it felt like a movie that was supposed to be something else, you know?
Yeah, and just got skinned as Mario. So.
I'm interested in it. Like you said, with the references, I feel like it's going to be like a Ready Player One kind of thing where they're just going to throw everything at you. And I mean, that's just Nintendo.
Yeah.
Think about it. They feed off of people's nostalgia. That's why people love it.
That's true.
Think about Breath of the Wild 2 that's coming out soon. Like, everything that they do, their whole company is based on nostalgia.
Yeah.
You have to think about, most people play their Switch for first-party games because, I mean, one, that's the only place you can play them, but two, it's like, it's something pretty much all of us have grown up with at some point because they're always using the same characters every generation. So it's like the nostalgia makes sense.
And you know, those games have the most polish too on that console.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
And you know, if they really wanted to sell it, they're going to hit the nostalgia of every generation, right? So like they'll throw in nods for like the people that played on the NES and then the Super Nintendo and like N64, GameCube, you know, like throw in the Mario Sunshine jetpack kind of thing. Like, I bet you they're going to do all of that just so it pleases everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the animation looks really good. I do think some of the characters look kind of weird, though.
Yeah.
But I think the graphics themselves look great. Like, it looks like it could be a game if the Switch was stronger. And
right, like if Mario was made in Unreal, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, and I'm like thinking like, what if they're seeing this and they're like, we want our next Mario game to look like this? Like, I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. I always thought that Nintendo, they shouldn't chase the 4K. They should just do a really high def, like cartoonish look, and they'll be set.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm interested in it. As much as I want to say I don't want to spend money on it, I kind of want to see it. I definitely think Chris Pratt is a weird choice, but I'm not against it. I'm willing to give it a chance. I don't know if I like this voice in the trailer, but I'm willing to watch a movie and see it, But like you said, Jack Black, perfect. Seth Rogen, I think, is going to do a really good job too, because I know he actually really likes the series. So
they have some really good people that when you see them, you're like, yep, okay, that makes sense, right? Like they have a lot of people that fit, and then they have Chris Pratt. Where it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. So the other one, like, I love her as an actor. I think she's great. Her actress is I think it's Anna Taylor-Joy, the one that's doing Peach.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's a great actress, but it's just like I feel like her voice doesn't really fit Peach. At least, I mean, I guess you could say that with Chris Pratt not really fitting Mario's voice either, but it's like, I don't know. It's just the tone of it just feels so different. But I don't know. I'm a sucker. I'll still watch it.
Yeah, no matter what. I mean, they're going to get my money. Congrats, Nintendo.
They always do. Somehow.
Yeah, they always find a way, don't they? Jerks. But yeah, I don't know. So to kind of bounce back to Last of Us, so we have like the show itself. You talked about how you felt about the game, and you brought up some interesting notes on how the designer originally wanted to make movies. And since I didn't really know anything about it, all I know is through really what you've told me about the game so far, honestly, because I really have no interest of actually looking it up for some reason. And it does sound like these stories might play better as film adaptations. And the whole idea of people getting so upset about, like the main character being not a good person and, right, like doing some horrible things and all that stuff, like they're able to layer that in much better, I think, in film, in a TV show than they are in a video game. Because in a video game, no matter what, like you're shooting, you're killing things, you're running and gunning, like that's just going to happen. But it's second nature in video games where you still don't feel like a bad guy, right? But this is kind of putting more of the weight behind those actions, the things that you're doing within the game itself. And really just kind of playing up the fact that, like, well, no, you did kill somebody, right? Like, it's there. Like, you did shoot somebody. I know you said you were protecting yourself, or you felt like you had to do it to get from point A to point B, but you still did it, right? So it is, I don't know. I feel like that's going to translate much better to film. And they have the scenes in there already on the first episode, right? Like, where it shows him having the relationship with the guard, and then he beats the shit out of the guard later. Right, like, and basically kills the man. And it's a weird situation there, but I did like how they were able to tell so much of a story within that first episode, like with the whole background of before the initial event and then afterwards. And I really did enjoy that first 2-minute intro of the scientists discussing exactly what the hell is going on, so that they don't have to explain it later. And that was a really clever way of doing it, I think, right? Because everyone that's going into the show, at least who's played the game, already knows the story. They already know what's going on. They know how people get infected. But for people like me, I thought it was a zombie thing still. Like, I for this whole time, I thought it was just straight up just old school zombies. And I'm like, really? Another fucking zombie show? Okay, whatever. I'll watch it just to check it out. But then hearing that, I was like, oh, like, I love that idea because it's a different take on it. And it's something that is real. It's something that is tangible, that does exist in our reality currently, right? Like how they even explained the zombie ants that happen to, run around still while the mushrooms are feeding on their insides. Like, that's a real thing. And it's pretty fascinating. And it's pretty cool because I just recently watched a horror movie that did that exactly. It's called Gaia, and the reviews are bad, but I really enjoyed this film. But I also like really bad films like Street Fighter. But it was a really cool concept, and it was an interesting concept, an interesting play on undead. That I feel that genre itself needs to evolve anyway, because we've done it so much. And it's just kind of an easy explanation for those kind of situations. It's like, oh, it's just zombies. And then nobody questions it and you just kind of go for it. But when you try and put something real behind it, like real tangible science that's there, something evident that we can see in our world, it instantly becomes more fascinating and a little bit more terrifying in my mind, because all it takes, like they said in the beginning of the Last of Us show, is one small mutation. All it takes is that mushroom needs to be able to survive in a temperature that's higher than what it currently can. And with global warming, it's happening right now. Like, that is something that is actually happening right now, where these mushrooms and plants and flora and fauna are evolving to be able to survive in harsher climates. So this is a tangible idea, right? And that's where I think the terrifying aspect of it comes. Like, right, it's not going to happen that fast, and I'm sure we're going to be able to fight off the mushrooms, and right, like, it's not going to be to that level, maybe, but it is a really cool concept that, of course, you can exaggerate some truths there. And then I don't know, there's some choices as far as like the script that were kind of like take me out of it for a little bit while I was watching it. I feel really bad, but the main character's name is Ellie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that actress.
Really?
There's just something about her where it's just like she feels like an entitled little girl to me. That's all I hear when I hear her talk. Whereas like I'm just like whatever. Like, hopefully they do something more with her. It's just the way, I don't know. I think it's just the script they gave her that was really just like, okay, right? Like when they showed her captured and she said something like, "Don't you know who I am?" Blah, 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 all this stuff. And like,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know what? Like, that's such an overplayed thing to say. And look at the world that you're living in. Who gives a shit who you are, right? Like, just be quiet for a second and like realize that you are captured and you need to now just respond and, you know, do what you're being told to do. But I don't know. There is just something about that just kind of bugged me. And I think it also was partly because they did such a good job of telling the story of his actual daughter. And in that short amount of time, they made you really feel like this is a main character that's going to stick around for a while. And like I don't know, I got really sucked into that side of the story where I really wanted to see more of that in that actress and that relationship, because I feel like it would be much more interesting in my mind to watch the father figure who is looked at as a hero, right, and loved by their daughter, to then crumble and devolve into what he is in the actual series itself, right, where he's not a good person per se, where he's doing anything he can to survive, like sell drugs, right? Like, so it is a very interesting dynamic there, and this is just coming from a complete outsider to the series itself. And I don't know, it's maybe the more I watch it, the more I'll really get into it. But they did such a good job in that first like half of the show of setting the scene and setting that tempo that it just kind of felt disconnected almost, where I just kind of lost it for a second there.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie, if I remember right, she was kind of entitled in the beginning of the game too. You know, once she was out on the road and had to deal with like killing and stuff, she changed. You know, like she learns about the world. Yeah, when I first, like, I know she's a good actress, like,
Oh yeah, no
in the
doubt.
roles she plays,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, I don't know, I was kind of like, because I just picture Game of Thrones with her, you know, like, but yeah, that first half was so strong that I wasn't expecting it. And that's why I was like, ooh, this is good. Like, I went into the show not expecting much because, like you said, zombies. Like, even though I'm like, well, at least it's got a game as a background to kind of base it on. I'm looking at The Walking Dead that just finished, and I'm just
Right.
like, are we starting another zombie series right now? Like, do we really need another? But I mean, the first episode of this was so strong compared to a good chunk of The Walking Dead
Yeah, I would
that
say seasons 2 to the end. Yeah.
I'm partial. I like the first 3 seasons of Walking Dead, but
I mean, the first one's the
the first
best.
one was strong.
Yeah.
I like the governor.
He was
That whole thing
interesting.
was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
I just remember one
yeah, it's
episode
like,
where it was the episode where I fell off The Walking Dead, where I turned it off as soon as the scene happened. I was like, okay, I'm done. Was they were walking through the woods. It might have been in season 3. And they were just so tired and so beat and like whatever. And they saw a horde of zombies coming up. And I think the episode before, they saw a horde of zombies and they're freaking out and acting like you normally would when you see that. And then this
mhm.
very next episode, it's like broad daylight, a horde of zombies coming up. And they all were like, well, whose turn is it? And one of them was like, I'll take it. It's fine. And they just stood there while they were coming down this little road. So they had to line up. And a zombie walked up and they like hopped over to the left and pushed it into a ditch. And then they went back to their spot. And they did that like 3 times. And I was like, okay. Like, I don't think at any point they would feel comfortable enough to get that close, even if it's been
Yeah.
years. Right. So that's where I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, zombie stuff has never been something I've interested in. Even in games, I don't know, like I love Left 4 Dead, but I don't know, the whole zombie thing just never piqued my interest. But
It's not strong for a continued series. I think that's why even Resident Evil changed its ways.
yeah, and it's sad because if you look at the story of some of the Resident Evil games, like they would make for a good series, like especially with a lot of the more modern ones. But
Hell yeah, like 5 with Chris punching a boulder. Let's watch that.
oh god,
Oh
or 6 with the giraffe getting head.
god.
But I I'm excited for all these game stuff coming up. Like seeing some of the images of the Fallout show that's coming out soon from Amazon. And I don't know why, but in my head, I'm like, I'm excited for this. But it's like, I know I shouldn't be. Right? Like, Amazon hasn't done a game adaptation, I think.
I don't feel like they have. Their last big thing was that Lord of the Rings show.
Yeah, I think they've not focused on game stuff. So I'll be interested to see what they do. I don't know. Fallout's a universe that would translate well into a show.
Mm-hmm.
I think people like that post-apocalyptic stuff in a show. I find it interesting, but I'm looking at like some of the shows recently that I really like. I look at Arcane, right?
Oh,
Like I think
fantastic show.
it surprised me because I could give 2 craps about like League of Legends and that whole, world. But that show was just so damn good. Like the art was fantastic and the way even though I hate Imagine Dragons, like the way they curated the music in that show just worked. And I don't know, like when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I need to keep watching this. Like it's rare for me to get sucked into a show like that, especially like, a show based off of a game, like I was like, wow, this is good. And I just ended up binging it.
Yeah, it actually made me want to play Riot games more. It's surprisingly. And then I played a couple and went, oh yeah, that's why I don't play them.
Yeah, I was like looking at him like, I don't want to play League and I don't want to play Runeterra and screw Valorant. And I was like, do I really want to play Auto Chess or not Auto Chess? That's Dota. Teamfight Tactics. And I was like, oh, Ruin King looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just like, I was happy leaving it there, you know? And, you know, I think the last one before that, I mean, the Castlevania animated show is pretty damn good. I feel like it didn't really get, like, more, like, people praised it and thought really high of it, but it was never, like, blown up.
Right.
Like Arcane or any of those. Like, it was just like, oh, this is good. And then that's it. But I'm like, it's actually pretty damn good. Like, for an adult animated show, I thought it was really well done. And when that came out, that was kind of like, I think one of the, what kind of started the game, like, adaptations again.
Or like high-end versions of it, yeah.
Yeah, like ones that actually look like they took some work. I'm trying to see when it came out. It came out 2017. So it's like nothing really else around that time was really like showing a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm looking at stuff before that, and around that time it was fucking Angry Birds. Excuse my language. Remember that Angry Birds movies? They had like 5 of them.
Yeah, they have a lot of them. Off of such a simple concept.
I forget that Angry Birds was such a thing. Like, I remember it being big, but I forgot that, like, people were obsessed with it.
Yep. Well, talk about weird games people are obsessed with. I mean, the Candy Crush TV show, that was very short-lived in 2017.
So what is that? Like, was it a game show?
Yeah, it was a game show where people are playing Candy Crush. But the twist is that they have a team of 2, and one person is being suspended by a rope. The other person is controlling a joystick, moving that one person up and down and left and right. And they have to swipe and play Candy Crush on a giant screen while versing another player. So it's like little mini games like that.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah. So it's just...
This is why Microsoft One's king. They want to bring this show back.
I know. It only had, like 9 episodes, I think. But, and the host was, oh God, what was his name? Mario Lopez. Yeah, Mario Lopez. Yep.
I'm looking at the trailer right now.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, he's in everything. But so it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That he was the host of this. And yeah, only 9 episodes in 2017. So it's on YouTube. You can watch them if you want to actually see this stuff. The first episode, the first 2 contestants that they did the little interview before they went out to battle the other people, talked a lot about God. So there's that. So that was pretty funny. But I don't know. It's just a weird idea for a game show. And the fact that it's coming from a mobile game, right? Like, I think they even did a Cut the Rope TV show as well. Another game show. Yeah.
Why? You know what? Okay, you know what game show? For some reason, it sounds so stupid, but it kind of works, or you think it would. And I'm watching it right now. Frogger.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Because it's obstacle course, right? Like, you got to sit there and think, how the hell can you make a game on Frogger or a show?
Right.
You know, a stupid frog crossing the street. But like, I'm watching this and it's like an obstacle course where like water jets are shooting at you and stuff. And I'm like, this makes sense. Like, it's a cool concept. Like, surprisingly, that's a pretty far reach for them to think of something like this. But like,
well, look at what's it called? What was it? Nick Arcade, right?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, like, that was awesome. I always wanted to be on that show. Like, if they want to do a video game TV show, they need to do it like that, because that was rad.
I was obsessed. And I recently watched someone do a video on it explaining how it worked. And like, the amount of work it did for that like green screen and cutting them into it, like, crazy for the time that it was out. You know, like it sold me as a kid. I was like, I want to do that. Like it
Oh,
was the
yeah.
coolest thing.
But that was a different time and era where game shows were so elaborate, like Legends of the Hidden Temple, right? You had Guts, like they were massive, massive productions that we don't really have anymore.
There was another game show, and I can't think what it was, where it was more so they competed on cabinets. And I don't think it was Nick Arcade. I feel like it was something else. I can't place it.
That sounds familiar, but I know they did that in Nick Arcade too.
Maybe it was Nick Arcade. But, God, that was... Oh, man. I forgot about that show.
Yep. And then also Netflix now has what was it, that trivia party game on your phones or something like that? They have that on Netflix now, where it's like a show where you can do like trivia questions and stuff like that and battle other people.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, there's so many shows out there that you'd be surprised that are based on video games. So many different titles that were really cool shows, even back in the day, like Earthworm Jim. I love that show. Like that was a good one as well. But it's interesting where the field is going. It's interesting to see these live action adaptations, and I'm not really surprised by it either. And it's actually kind of a breath of fresh air to know that other people are taking video game stories as seriously as we have been all of our lives. Because some of the best stories that I've seen or that I know of came from video games. And now they're getting their due justice. They're actually getting their time on the screen and being shared with those that are not gamers. So the work that these writers have put into this, these storytellers, to make our experiences so amazing and kind of, craft our childhood, are getting their chances to actually make shows and influence other people. So I'm wondering and hopeful if this is going to kind of inspire some big writers out there, like well-known writers, to now make video games. Like a Neil Gaiman video game, that'd be dope to see that. I mean, I love his writing. The Sandman was awesome, and the show was actually pretty good too. So like it would be really interesting to see what kind of writers they can get pulled for, because now it's no longer I'm writing for a video game. I'm writing for a game that can potentially become a show or a movie as well, right? So they have to put a little bit more extra work into the stories that they're telling. So it is a really cool time to see this stuff. Like now, not every game is going to have a fantastic rendition on the screen, but I mean, if we look at most games like God of War, feels like you're watching an amazing movie, and because of the pacing of it. So why can't that work, right? Why can't that become put on the screen? Like Metal Gear Solid has such an amazing deep story and such well-crafted characters that it would be really cool to actually see that. Like, I mean, who doesn't love a story about espionage, right? So there's all kinds of interesting, cool things that could come from this. And it's just going to be a renaissance in the storytelling in games and how we actually learn how to develop characters properly and put a little bit more emphasis and focus on that when it comes to storytelling in games. So I'm excited regardless, right? Even if these shows flop, even if Last of Us only has one season, even if like everything just kind of goes downhill for about 5 years, I think eventually we're going to see some renditions where it's like, oh my God, like that's amazing. And it feels like it was never a game at all. So we'll see when that time comes. It's like the comic book movies, right? Like it took them a little while to pick up and find their pacing, and now they're a main staple across the world. So I just think video games are up next. They have their due, so to speak. Yeah. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you guys so much for listening into our episode here. And yeah, check out Last of Us and let us know what you think. And if you've never played it, I'd be curious to see what you think of it and versus people who have played it. I want to see both sides of that story. But yeah. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys next week with next set of games. But until then, bye for now.